Right now, I'm going to leg it up this gully right up here and give the boys a break, sitting down the road. The idea is I've got Poe and Pace with me, and they've got Nut on the rope down there below. I told them to keep an eye on the hill, watch what's going on. Trouble with the boys is they talk a lot, they don't watch what's going on around, they miss a lot of stuff. Clearly been a pig around here, though, grounds hunting. This is what happens to pigs when you catch their mothers, they die. This guy here looks like he's actually good condition. Now he might just die of the elements, but the maggots are making him feed out of him now. Poking that. Okay guys, we'll carry on. Those blokes over there are putting the scaffolding in for the new pole shed. That'll be a dream come true, because every man needs a shed, eh boys? Shit chair. I've never had one. That'll be the first one, and I'm 59 years of age. I say all good things take time. Well, that's taken a lot of time. I've always wanted a shed for building stuff, for storing stuff. Anyway, good morning brothers, and the occasional sister joining us today. I've got the Nut on the lead. There he goes down there. It's from Kim Swan, and Pace and Pa are pretty tired after a weekend of taking young fellas pig hunting. We took 3 boys out this weekend, and man did I walk some hardy K's in the hills. And not a pig in sight. No sign. I think we actually hunted that gully out, but it was good. Good to get out and just be grateful to have the arms and legs moving. Not much running around today. Dogs are pretty tired. This old boy, he's 11 this year, so he's pretty tired like me. But I'm so grateful just to have my body to be able to get out and hunt. I love it. Watch the dogs in the hill. It's a really wonderful feeling being walking in the hills. It's a wonderful feeling. It's natural. Going through the bush, smelling the bush and watching. And one of you guys, Ross Nolly, said it's also not just the hunting, it's the meditation, because you're in the state the whole time of alertness and you're just completely focused on listening, and all your senses become alive. And I think we're supposed to be like that. I think in this modern society, in this modern day to day, we're just so busy always like trying to pay our bills and get on top of stuff and check out what's going on and keep up to date with everything, keep up to date with technology, and try and eat the right food and try and get sleep and try and do this and try and do that. But when you're in the bush, you just settle into that whole environment of hunt mode. It's such a natural thing for a man to do, to hunt. Well, maybe not every man, but for most of us. And today we've replaced it with gaming and sport, but you get back into nature and you're hunting down a beast to feed your loved ones and your family and yourself, then you really are, you're digging into something very primitive and very primal, and it's very natural, for me anyway. Maybe not for all men. Maybe I've got a brother that doesn't like to hunt, so let's not say all men. And maybe not all of us are meant to be hunters. Maybe some of us are meant to be nurturers or carers. I think it can be everything personally. I think being a man means being compassionate, being caring, and also hunting. It's sort of like there's 2 sides to it. And hunting involves killing. It's part of the equation you can't remove from hunting. So there is a place for killing, and there's also a place for nurturing and compassion, and that might seem like a bit of a conflict, but they have their place. I mean, we're a species that has evolved that way. That's just the nature of being man. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you get an egg for me after all the feed you've been getting. Oh, we are in luck 4, and they're not for you, mate, no. I stick a bit in the water. It's natural for ducks to eat that way, and the rest of the automatic feeder. But I don't need it running all the time, otherwise the pikikos and the mallards work out where it is. Ah, the dogs have sniffed out a rat underneath the box here. There'll be a rat under there for sure. They'll be digging until they get it. I'll go and lift the box up, it's probably underneath it. Time to cut a head off or 2, I think. Peking duck, delicious. And I've got a lot of friends that love eating Peking duck. It used to be my favourite meat, well it still is. Just can't eat anymore. So there goes Nut, he suddenly realised something's going on. He's picking up the vibration. Oh, there's a rat there, it's in the pond, look. Swimming around, look, there goes Poe. Poe, it's in the pond, Pace, get him, Pace in the pond. Pace, over here, look. Pace. Get it, Poe, good girl. Where's he gone, Poe? It's dived. You got it, good dog, Pace. Poe, you got it? Good girl, Poe. Oh, it's a big rat. Good dog. Good girl, Poe. We lifted that up and you can see the home. There's the nest. The nest right in the middle with a ball of the grass. Got it. Good dog. Well, that's a big rat, eh? Good girl. Good dog. Was that female? I reckon that's the same one. Good girl, Po. Well, the only good rat in here is that's a pregnant one too. Nice to get a pregnant one. That's a whole lot of babies that won't be happening. Good dogs. Good dogs. Well done. Good dogs. Here's the reason I don't like rats. That duck over there, it's a wild duck. Mallard. Says babies. Had 8 last night. Now it's only got 7 this morning. There was a big fat rat on the driveway and you know what it's been feeding on. Those fluffy little morsels. She's wild, but she's close to home, right close to the farmhouse here. And she trusts me a little bit. She's come quite friendly, really quite tame. Even mixing with the other ducks. She survived the hawks and the pukekos, but the bloody rats. While I'm enjoying my coffee, I'm just reflecting on a incident that happened back when I was in Germany in the old days when I worked there. And I want to share this story with you. It doesn't have a happy ending, and it could have had a better ending if life had been different, if justice had been different, if the system had been different. I worked in Germany from 1991 to 2005. I played 3,159 concerts in those years. There was a lot of concerts on my books. I played that, and I met a lot of people. And one person I met was Tobias, fondly known as Toby, in the town of Saarbrücken. And Tobias worked 2 jobs. He worked in a hairdressing salon, and he also worked as a cleaner. So he worked 16 hours a day. And he had to work 2 jobs because he had a special needs son that needed a lot of care, and it cost him a lot of money. His partner left him when their child was pretty much born because she couldn't handle having this child with special needs. And so he did the right thing and stood by the child and raised him. He was 55 when I met him, and I would have been 30 at the time. To me, he was an older man and a lovely, lovely, gentle soul that cared about people and worked hard. A diligent, hard-working guy. One night he was coming home from his cleaning job in Saarbrücken, going down Rosenstrasse, and as he walked down there, he came across Arkham, and Arkham would change his whole life. Arkham was a 19-year-old young guy, generally a good guy, a good football player, had a good life. He had a scholarship, which he later on lost, and Arkham was drinking with 2 other men, or young boys, and he went up and he smacked Tobias in the side of the head for no reason at all. Just drunk, and did one moment of stupidity, which changed both of their lives. Tobias ended up with brain damage, and he really struggled with depression after that. After he came out of hospital, he had memory problems, he had a lot of pain, he had visual problems and hearing problems, and he had to get somebody in to help look after him and his son. Well, the government paid for that. They had to have care workers all the time, and Arkham went to jail. And while Arkham was in jail, he was supposed to go in there for 4 years, and he ended up going in there, and on his first year of being in there, he got raped a number of times. He was an attractive guy, and he got raped a number of times, and his story is a different story in itself, but he completely spiraled down, and then he got involved with a criminal element, and he then killed one of the guys that raped him later on during his 4-year stretch, and then that prolonged it to another something like, I think it was 20 years before he was to get out. I don't know if he's out today or not because it's in the future, but that was the story I got from Tobias that was kept in the loop because of his ordeal. Now, this story is not uncommon. A young man doing something stupid in a spur of the moment, not realising the consequences of his actions and how it would change his whole life. So Arkham, his life's destroyed. Tobias' life is destroyed. And there's no good outcome. Now my thinking on this is the way it should roll. As soon as this had happened, the police should have taken hold of the situation with Arkham. They should have talked through what had gone on, and there should have been restorative justice. That means that he should have been put in a program every day where he had to care for Tobias and Tobias' son. He had to be made fully responsible. He had to be coached and he had to be watched and trained to do that, to understand the consequences of his action and be responsible for them, and have a team around him. In the end, it would have cost the state less because they wouldn't have had to pay somebody to look after Tobias and his son. There wouldn't have to be a facility that he went into jail, and it would have been the only way to take that young man forward and a mistake he made, so he didn't go down the road of being raped in prison, becoming a criminal in prison, and then killing somebody in prison. Now, it could be that Arkham was one of those guys that was always going to be criminal, even though he was a good guy. But from all accounts, from what I heard from the other side, and Tobias was in court, all his friends and family said he was just a one-off thing, that he was not in his character, and he was loved at school, and he was loved by a lot of people. Arkham, at least, not to Tobias. If I said Tobias, I might have got that bad in the wrong way. But tied to down brothers, not a lot of sleep, taking boys away all weekend, early rise, late nights. But anyway, the story is in my reflections on how the system for justice it's an arse. There could have been a lot better outcome. It was never going to be a good outcome when he smacked that innocent man Tobias in the head, but still, I think these things could be managed better. Only my opinion. I'm prepared to be wrong. Correct me if I am, if you think I am. Just me mouthing off this morning while I'm having a coffee, thinking about a tragic event of a friend I had once that today is still alive and still struggles because of that one blow to the head. And on that note, if you're thinking of doing martial arts or boxing or rugby, always be aware that one blow to the head can change your whole life. Go steady. Have a great day, brothers. I'll see you next Bro Check Club video. See you later. Duck's back out. She's in the pond I made. I put some stuff on the ground, a tarpaulin. I made it into a wee pond because the old one had dried up and the cracks in the ground, the water was going through. I'll show you. She's got all the babies in there. Enjoying the life, eh? We had a bit of rain last night. God, we needed it too. Well, I guess those babies will grow up if they're lucky. And then they've got to escape all the duck shooters around here too. Oh, she's made it so far, this far. She's got 7. I wonder what she ends up with. She started with 8. They'll get less. Time will tell. See you, brothers.